Welcome back, Sunday Society. It's
Hello.
been a while.
Been a hot minute.
So we left you with the Battle of the Karens, and we are over the Karens.
Over it. If I never read another Karen story, it'll be too soon.
14 weeks was enough.
Way enough for sure.
Maybe next time if we do something like that, we do an 8-week because the 14 weeks was a bit much. Yeah.
One blowout.
Our ultimate Karen that won was definitely our fitness Karen. So if you don't remember that, it's a Karen that that takes her son to the gym and looks at this other lady who was walking on the treadmill minding her own business, telling her she should leave because her son feels like it's a place for fat people.
Yeah. And one of the comments on TikTok was like, here's an example of a story that never happened. And I'm like,
I mean, Reddit said it. Reddit was out there.
Reddit
said it.
Yeah.
A lady, shared her experience. So,
I mean, we trust that the stories that we read on Reddit are true.
If they're not, it's not really hurting anybody. I will also say, I'm not going to touch base on much of it, but I will say that if you feel attacked or you feel that this season of Karens was like offensive or like hate mongering, you're probably a Karen. So
it was definitely
it was meant for fun. It was meant for, we all deal with Karens. It was meant to joke and share those experiences, and some of them weren't even funny. They were just horrible. But we were trying to find the biggest Karens, so
just spread awareness.
Sorry, not sorry.
Terrible. Yeah.
I mean, we're never gonna make everybody happy, right?
Yeah, never. And that's not my job.
No.
Your happiness is your own job.
Yeah.
So yes, the Battle of the Karens was really just for us to talk and laugh
and share Karen stories. Yes.
And it was not to offend. It was lighthearted. And again, happiness is not our job.
Yeah.
If you aren't happy listening, don't listen. Yeah. It's okay. And
if you think, if you think that this is just a hate-filled podcast, you obviously haven't listened to anything, because we talk about all kinds of things, and a lot of things are really important conversations, and we're going to continue to do what we do, and
we're going to love it.
Yeah.
And no more attention to that.
Yeah. So on that note, it is spooky season, friends.
It's October.
We're in October.
Woo!
It's spooky season. Bianca and I love spooky season. Yes. We have a wonderful month planned for you.
Yep.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And when this episode comes out, we will not be in this state. We will actually be in New Hampshire. So we're very excited to bring some on the road Taking Back Sunday moments.
Yeah.
And it has been a little minute since we've recorded, and we both probably look a little different. We have both done things to our hair.
Oh, yeah.
My hair is gone. Hannah's is brown. And we're loving it. And
yeah, I'm going to be honest. My appearance has been a conversation for a lot of people lately, and not that I have to explain myself, but I had some damage from all the bleach that was going in my hair, and my girl helped me and got it back to pretty much its natural color. It's got some highlights in there, but we're going to let it repair itself, and I probably will go back blonde again. I enjoyed being a blonde.
Yes. Blonde Hannah will return.
Yeah. Dark hair Hannah is kind of in her cutthroat era. So if I offend you or you don't like what I have to say, I'm sorry. I don't care. And that really came out with the blonde hair and the hot take Sundays. And I just got to where I was like, hey, like, it's okay for me to share my opinion, and I don't have to agree with you, and you don't have to agree with me, and that's okay.
And there's plenty of times when we don't, and it is okay.
And
we make it work.
The hair isn't changing who I am.
Nope, she's not going back.
I just really, really hope that maybe with the dark, I know it's for health reasons for my hair, but I hope health reasons for my hair, not any other reasons. I hope that you don't I have a lot of gray hair. I've been graying. So something facts about me. I've been graying since I was 20 years old when I got pregnant with Corbin.
Kids will do that to you.
Yeah. Man. Immediately when I got pregnant, I started noticing gray hair, and it's just gotten worse. And so I went blonde to help hide the gray. Mm-hmm. But bleach there's enough dark hair still that I was having to bleach my roots all the time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're going to, fingers crossed.
She's gonna gray naturally.
It would be beautiful if it was like in little pieces like salt and pepper, but it's not. It's like all patchy. So
yeah, same here. So
yeah.
So we're gonna jump into spooky season. I have a very interesting, frustrating case that I am excited to share. In the spring of 1985, Linda Sherman was doing what so many of us do, balancing work, family, and the rhythm of everyday life. She was a mom, a wife, a neighbor, the kind of person who seemed steady and rooted in her community. But one ordinary morning, something happened that would change everything. A single day that would leave family and friends searching for answers, and a story that still echoes decades later. So grab your coffee, get spooky, and let's take back Sunday. All right. So that's from Bob's Burgers. The mom always says that. So we're going to look into the case of Linda Sherman today.
Okay.
Have you heard of this one, Hannah?
I have not.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I've listened to a lot of true crime, but the name doesn't sound familiar. When I printed it for you, I was like, that doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, it wasn't familiar to me either, but it's a Missouri case.
Hmm? So
I thought, why not? And it's spooky season. We've got some skulls sprinkled around in here, and that's very on brand for this story today. So we'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
According to reports, Linda Sherman grew up in the St. Louis suburb of Veneta Park and was the youngest of 4. With siblings more than 10 years older, she was sheltered, quiet, and reserved. Her brother, Dennis Lutz, said that she was a shy girl growing up. She wanted to be more outgoing and athletic, but she was more of an at-home type of girl. So, little home buddy, little quiet girl staying at home. She was a junior when she fell for her high school sweetheart, 17-year-old Don Sherman. They were married on February 10th, 1975, and I am pretty sure that she was still in high school.
I was gonna say.
Yep, because reports also say that their daughter Patty was born that August, and that Linda still needed to finish her senior year. So she got married towards the end of the junior year. I'm guessing if she had the daughter in August, she was pregnant when she got married. The second, that's 6 months. So she was pregnant when she got married.
No judgment.
But in the 70s, I bet there was a lot of judgment.
There was a reason she got married when she was pregnant.
Yep. So having kids in high school was definitely frowned upon at that time, because it's still kind of frowned upon now, you know? So I am impressed that her family helped her out by watching her daughter, Patty, while Linda finished high school, because Don had taken a full-time job at a gas station so he could support their little growing family. To me, that kind of speaks to Linda's relationship and closeness with her family, that they were willing to do that for her. You just don't hear a lot of situations like that. You know, it's typically she went to a farm or like went to a private school in Nebraska and came back all puffy and doped up, you know, after she had the baby. So kudos to this family for helping her. So Don and Linda then rented the house right next to Linda's parents. And that's kind of where they were trying to start their little baby family. Their marriage, as most are in the beginning, was happy and in that honeymoon phase, but it did not take long for money and opposite work shifts to weigh on the young couple. According to Body of Evidence, quote, Don says those early years weren't easy. The couple struggled to make ends meet while raising a child. Linda worked a few part-time jobs, altering suits at Sears, key punching at Side Oil Company, before settling into a data entry job. He worked briefly as an assistant at a gas station before becoming a machinist, a career that he has stayed with ever since. So he is still currently in that role.
Okay.
Based on every source that I read, like every article, every website, Don was a jealous man. He would get jealous if Linda would talk to any man, even her own brother, Dennis. There was a part in here when
weird.
Yeah, Dennis remembered
That's
visiting.
So weird.
It's icky.
Like,
right?
bro, you think Like,
that's
she's
bro.
she's not gonna be like, I mean, if she is, that's weird too.
Yeah.
We are pretty close to Arkansas.
Yeah, that is true. So Don would say, like, when he would visit from San Antonio and spend time with her, he would remember that Don, quote, Don was even jealous about that. He said, that is my sister. We're going to have lunch together. And he would have a fit. Could you imagine that?
No.
Like if Matthew came up visiting from Louisiana and my husband got upset that I'd choose to spend time with my brother, he would be an ex-husband. Real quick.
Yeah. Her non-husband would be an ex-husband.
Yeah, exactly. My non-existent
yeah, but no, I get it. Like,
gone.
that's weird.
It's icky.
Ew.
It's icky. It's weird.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like how that feels.
It doesn't get better.
Ooh.
It does not get better. Dennis went on to explain that Dawn was very possessive of her. She would tell Dennis, when I get off work, if I'm not home within 5 minutes, he wants to know what's going on, who you're seeing, what you're doing out that late. He was always hitting her, and things just weren't right.
Hitting?
Physically hitting her, yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either. And apparently neither did Linda, because by 1977, the two were separated and she filed for divorce.
Boys hit women.
That's right.
Boys threaten women. Men do not.
Men do not. Amen. What's the clock that T? Whatever them kids be saying. So she wanted full custody of their daughter, naturally, and the property that they shared. So all the stuff. She wanted everything. But as we hear time and time again, she did not follow through. The case for divorce was dismissed due to inactivity, and by 1979, the couple bought a modest 5-room brick bungalow on a quiet dead-end street in Veneta Park, which is a small community of middle-class, mostly blue-collar families in the 70s. Unfortunately for the Shermans, they just could not seem to get their marriage to work. And by 1982, so this is 3 years later, Linda had moved out again and into an apartment in St. Anne with the then 7-year-old Patty. I do want to interject here that between the time of them moving into the house and the separation, Linda had reportedly suffered from a miscarriage, which I think led to a seizure, which then led to a diagnosis of epilepsy. So they had decided that they were not going to pursue any other children. So Patty is the only child. I do think that that's an important thing to note for when we talk later about her medical condition.
Okay.
So September 1982, Linda filed for an order of protection for herself and for Patty against Don because he was slowly becoming more and more unhinged. He threatened to kill himself, as these cowards do time and time again. If you leave me, I'm going to kill myself. Okay.
That's your pain to work through?
That's your pain to work through, buddy. And then he would also threaten to kill her and Patty. And then he would even tamper with her car, making it not work. Don admitted to the Riverfront Times of a, quote, instance with his wife's car. He said, and this is so freaking unhinged, the vehicle was in my name, he says. I disabled it so it couldn't be driven. What?
Oh, he's being controlling. Uh-huh. And he's just saying, it was mine.
It's in my name. That's my car. You're not
and
going to drive
it. I'm going to disable it. Why, Don? Why are you disabling the car?
Right, Don. Well, apparently he says those memories are too old to recall in
detail. Okay. You remember.
Quote, I'm not sure what my reaning was then. It was a long time ago. This was 14 years after.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
You know, we know. Everybody knows. He doesn't redeem himself ever in this story, by the way. So
is Don the bad guy in this?
I don't know.
That's what it sounded like.
We'll wait till we find out. That's a secret tool we'll need for later. So the judge granted the order of protection and for Dawn to pay child support each week, $20, which in the 80s, that's probably a substantial amount of money. Also, I want to just interject. I don't know how Ashley Flowers memorizes these stories and reads them on her podcast.
Does she memorize them?
I've seen the videos.
Does she not have like a...
I don't know. Maybe she has a prompter.
I think she has a prompter.
Boy, there's no way. There's no way I could memorize all of this. But anyway, I thought about that when I was typing it. I'm like, I'm going to be reading off this paper. Sorry, guys. Anyway, okay, $20 a week. So $80 a month. give or take.
Shoot, there's some men out here in 2025 or women in 2025 that ain't paying $80 a month in child support.
Clocked, or whatever. But as so many of these stories go, the separation again did not last, and they were back together within a month. Linda wrote to the judge on October 21st.
Can I interject for just 1 second? I think I know where this is going, but I do want to say, in case I don't want to forget later, Linda is going back and forth and back and forth. Probably because Linda realizes her life, as bad as it is with Don, is less when she's with him versus when he thinks he doesn't have control over her and he's trying to ruin her life. So I'm just going to put that out there because I don't want anybody to be like, oh, she went back.
Yeah, no, we don't shame victims of domestic violence on this podcast, and we understand that it is hard to leave.
Yes.
We understand,
especially if there's financial control or again, if, every time you turn around, I mean, I've heard where women lose their jobs because they left and the husband or boyfriend goes to work and or calls and they end up losing their job. I mean, there's a lot of different things. So sometimes going back seems like the best solution.
Yep. And we're not here to judge them for that.
Yeah.
Because we've never been in a situation like that. We have no idea what that feels like.
Yeah.
So Linda then wrote to the judge on October 21st, 1982, quote, "Please acknowledge the fact that my husband, Donald E. Sherman, and myself, Linda S. Sherman, are presently working things out." End quote. The next update we get is 3 years later, so shortly after their 10-year wedding anniversary.
Okay. He wrote that to the judge?
She wrote that to the judge.
She wrote that to the judge.
Yeah. Probably under duress.
I was thinking, I feel like, what if that's just like a ransom thing? Like, I'm forcing you to write this.
Yeah, let me out type thing. Yeah.
Okay. You didn't even have to show up to court. Okay. Yeah.
So shortly after their 10-year wedding anniversary, Linda filed a petition again for dissolution. Dissolution. That's how you say it, right?
That you said, I believe you said it right.
For dissolution in St. Louis County Circuit Court on April 11th, 1985.
Okay.
Dawn wouldn't be served for a few more weeks, and Linda was still living at home during that time. She was sleeping on the couch. Dawn recalls that things were rocky with their opposite work schedules and his growing suspicions of Linda having an affair. I wrote in here, boy, bye. I'd cheat too. I wrote it. It sounds like Don got the confirmation he needed when a coworker of his said that he'd seen Linda out with another man from her work. I'm gonna need these coworkers to stop being so messy.
Well, and if you're unhappy in your marriage, you should probably leave that marriage and not be out seeing people. True. But again, she's filed for divorce, so she's 3 obviously times. I mean, girls trying to leave. Maybe wait to date. No judgment, but maybe wait to date until you've got your own place.
Yeah, when you're out of the house.
Because that makes it messy.
It does.
Okay.
It does. Dawn apparently told reporters that this wasn't the first time that she had cheated. And
who cares?
Yeah, and that she'd been
I mean, it matters in the sense of divorce in that time.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't matter for what's coming that I feel in my gut.
Yeah, well... Apparently, Dawn reported that she'd been a cocktail waitress, and that, quote, changed her. Dude, what do you mean? What do you mean? Because to me, it sounds like he's trying to make her look like someone that she wasn't, to make himself
like
look
a sloot.
Better. Yes, and to make him look like the victim in that relationship. Narcissists, man, when they can't manipulate you, they manipulate how people see you.
Yep.
Boom.
And they have selective memory.
Isn't it funny how that works? Isn't it funny how that works? In the early morning of April 22nd, 1985, 2:16 to be exact, Linda would clock out of work for the last time. What happened after this is still unknown.
Oh.
I know. We have Dawn's account. He explains that she didn't get home until around 3 a.m. and that they argued because she wouldn't tell him where she had been. Dawn claims that they stayed up until about 4 a.m. arguing on this. Patty recalled seeing her the next day on the couch, facing the inside and not moving. Linda always took Patty to school, but she didn't even turn to tell Patty goodbye that day, which for me is a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Patty was
because she wasn't
reported-
alive.
Yeah.
Gotta
Exactly.
be.
That's all. That's the only thing I can think of. Patty explains, quote, "She always took me to school, but my dad took me to school that day, and I remember her laying on the couch with her face to the back of the couch, and she didn't get up. She didn't get up to kiss me goodbye. She didn't say anything to me. She was just laying there." Bad shivers. That breaks my heart. After Don returned later that afternoon, he claims that Linda was still at home and on edge because she was running late for work and that she left the house at 6 p.m. Liar. There are no witnesses to confirm that she left. She never arrived at work. And this was the alleged last sighting of Linda Sherman. Of course it was Dawn was the last person to see her alive.
Mm-hmm.
And of course she was leaving for work.
Yeah.
Anyway, her sister, Fran, had been talking to Linda every night for a while about all the turmoil in her marriage, and Linda had even taken the steps to have her mail forwarded to Fran and her husband's house. It really does sound like she was about to leave him for good.
She was doing all the right things.
Yep. But when Fran and her husband, Sam, heard that Linda hadn't shown up for work on April 22nd, they knew that something had gone very wrong. Dawn, on the other hand, tried to tell people that she ran off with someone. Classic, right? But Sam, her brother-in-law, was quick to discount that, saying, quote, "We knew that if she left, there's no way she was leaving without
I was
going to
say she was not going to leave without her daughter.
Yep, and the daughter was still at home, and so there's definitely foul play. Linda's parents finally convinced Dawn to file a missing persons report.
Why do they need him to do it?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Okay, sorry.
That's
I don't know.
Question.
I don't know why that upset me so much.
No, you're right. Because I don't know why it would have to be him.
Anybody I feel like could have. Like her work? Somebody at work?
I don't know.
Her sister?
So this was 85. Maybe things were different back then?
I don't know.
I don't have a clue. I didn't even think about that when I was writing this. No, that's a good point. But anyway, they finally convinced him to do it. And Fran and Sam began searching for her. Obviously, they care. They want to know where she is. As each day passed with no word from Linda, the Millers grew increasingly alarmed. That's Fran and Sam. Their last name is Miller. I don't think I said that earlier. They posted flyers offering a $1,000 reward for information on her whereabouts. They spoke to her coworkers at the government records center where she worked. 4 days after Linda disappeared, Sam had said he was laying in bed thinking about this musician whose car had recently turned up at Lambert Airport after he was murdered. They hadn't looked for Linda there, so he was like, let's go. Let's go look at the airport for her car. They had rounded the first term in the short-term parking garage when they saw what they were looking for. Linda's yellow Volkswagen Beetle. Sam recounts, quote, "We went to look inside the car and we could see her school books and her hat and everything. So we contacted the airport police and they came and the car was locked, but they tried the trunk and the trunk was open. They'd said, well, we fully expected Linda to be in there, and she wasn't." What a terrifying moment.
So I have a couple of things. Mm-hmm. First of all, so Sam is the brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. Fran is her sister, mm-hmm. Linda's sister.
Yes.
Okay. So Sam's like, oh, I remember thinking like you're just going through scenarios and that pops in his head. If he heard about that, it probably was something that other people heard about. Of a missing person or a murdered person being at the airport. Mm-hmm. Give somebody a good idea of where to put a car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I smell what you're stepping in.
Because I wouldn't think of that.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't even think to put because I would think like security would be checking like how long your car's been there, if you paid for it, whatever. I wouldn't even think to like park a car at an airport and leave it.
Well, and now in 2025.
And I'm not a murderer, so also that.
We also have very different mindset. But also, it's 2025, and there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
There's no getting away with that kind of thing.
And I bet there wasn't where that car was parked.
No.
Probably. If they were probably horrible.
Yeah. Super grainy and whatever. But I can't imagine what that felt like finding the car, and then just waiting for the cops to open that trunk.
Yeah.
And expect to see your sister's body in there. Yeah. I cannot. So shortly after this, Lieutenant Michael Webb was assigned to the case. He explained that something just felt off about this because with most missing person cases, somebody is contacted after a few days. Like, they are reaching out to somebody, especially if they have kids. They are reaching out to let their kids know that they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not the case here.
Mm-hmm.
So months passed with no sign of Linda, and police decided to go public with a plea for help. Linda's disappearance and her family's concerns about foul play were described in a July 15, 1985 article in the St. Louis Globe-Democrat. Quote, "We're at an impasse." Veneta Park Police Chief Robert Hartz was quoted as saying, "There's little more we can do without a break." They couldn't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Don, being our hero in this story, claimed that he saw Linda in the days after her disappearance with another man. I assume this was to throw off the scent. Abusers, they all think they're so damn smart, but they all do the same thing. He claimed that she was in a van riding with this man, and he yelled for her and she ducked down. What in the world? What are you doing? And then in 1989, he filed for divorce, saying that she abandoned him in Patty. The literal audacity of this man. Come to find out, this was an interesting little caveat in this case, is that the attorney that Don had hired was the family attorney dating back to the 70s when Don's mother shot his father to death after an argument.
What?
Yeah.
Do what now?
Do what now?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was like, that's a twist that I was not expecting.
Bro is born into psychoticness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's crazy.
Yep, because apparently his parents were both alcoholics, and it seems that wasn't the only truth.
Is his mom not in prison?
I have no idea. I did not follow up, but I assume yes.
Oh, I hope so.
Shot him to death. Just point blank.
Unless, like, she was trying to protect herself, but, like...
It doesn't sound like it.
Okay.
It does not sound like it. So, fortunately, though, the judge was like, no, we are not dissolving this marriage. This is clearly an ongoing case where this woman is missing.
Yeah. You probably just brought attention to the missing woman again, Dawn.
Yeah. Well, and so this was June of 1989. Fast forward to June of 1990. This is where our story takes a gruesome turn.
It's took a gruesome turn. We just don't know the facts yet. It's been taking a gruesome turn.
Yeah, it's been very sad. This is a very sad case.
Yeah.
Early in the afternoon of June 28th, 1990, two flight attendants were having lunch at a Casa Gallardo restaurant in Bridgeton, Missouri, when they noticed something strange outside the window. There in the bushes, situated to show that somebody wanted it to be found, was a human skull. At the time, it could not be identified after a sweeping search of local graves to determine if one had been robbed, because this was not in the town where Linda had gone missing, and this was...
And it's...
like 5 years later?
And that skull has not been there that whole time. There's no way.
No, there's no way.
So somebody put that skull there.
Yep.
Okay.
Police chalked it up to a very disgusting prank. They cataloged it. They moved on. Because they couldn't identify it. They don't know who it belongs to. So I think you know, though, where this is going. 14 months later, on September 6th, 1991, a mysterious, unsealed envelope arrived at the Veneta Park Police Department, 25 miles away from where the skull was found. Inside was an 8-month-old flyer for Casa Gallardo that had a message stamped on the back of it in purple ink. The message read, "The Bridgeton police have L. Sherman's skull." First of all, I would have been like, excuse me? Dental records then confirmed that the skull found at Casa Gallardo was, in fact, that of Linda Sherman. There was no DNA found on the note sent to the police, and to this day, the rest of Linda's remains have never been found. So, from the outside, Linda Sherman's story feels like one that should have a clear ending. A young mother vanishes, her remains are eventually found, and the case should close with answers, accountability, and justice. But that never happened.
Homeboy didn't get in trouble for this?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's out living his best life.
Dawn, we're in Missouri.
We're coming for you, baby.
Because I know. My gut knew as soon as she started talking about you. My gut knew.
Yep. I mean, I think everybody
so
knows.
Frustrating.
Everybody thinks this. It's been decades since she was last seen in April of 1985, and still no one has been charged with her murder. Investigators have suspicions, the community has theories, but her case remains officially unsolved.
We are going to this town.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to figure this out.
Yeah. I'll give you my theory in a second, but for her family, that means there's never been true closure, just questions that linger and a quiet grief that doesn't fade with time. And for us, it's a reminder that behind every headline and every case is a person who deserved so much more than to become a mystery. Linda was more than the way her story ended. She was a daughter, a mother, and a friend. And while her case remains open, her memory continues to live on through those who knew and loved her. And that's week 1 of spooky season.
Yes. So we didn't really go into that, but spooky season, we love true crime, and that's what we do here.
That's what we do here. Welcome to the podcast in October.
Yes.
So my theory of what happened is that she got home late. They had that argument, like Dawn said.
Yeah.
And
who knows, even if it was 3 a.m. Like, she could have gotten home 5 minutes late.
Yeah. She could have been home within that 5-minute time frame that he always, made her adhere to. But I think either one of two things happened. The argument turned physical, or the stress from the argument maybe induced some sort of seizure, and maybe she died and he didn't know what to do. I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's an abusive piece of crap. And I think he killed her. I think Patty didn't ever say that there was blood or a crime scene.
His mom probably helped find the place to bury her, and then he unburied her skull and gave it put it at the restaurant.
So he could get a divorce.
So he could get a divorce.
Yep. I think he strangled her. That's my thought. Because there was no blood. There was nothing. Unless he, I don't know, pushed her and I don't know.
I think the strangling makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's why her daughter didn't notice anything off.
Yeah. Just thought she was sleeping on the couch.
And that's why, you wouldn't hear a gunshot or things breaking or anything like that, because once you start strangling somebody, they can't make a noise.
There's nothing they can do.
That is what my thought was.
Yeah. And it's very...
And her daughter walked by her dead body on her way to school.
I fully believe that. I fully believe that.
100%.
Yeah.
That's so sad. I wonder what Patty thinks.
I think that I read that she does think that it was her dad. If I'm remembering correctly, she was quoted as saying, "There's just nothing else that makes sense." There's no other
she's not
story
wrong.
That makes sense. Yeah. Occam's razor, man. The simplest explanation is typically the
I just want to know
right.
where he put the rest of her body.
Her family deserves that.
Yeah.
They deserve to have a full burial for her.
So I chose to become an investigator and go down there. We're not that far from there.
We're really not. Just a couple hours.
Yeah.
Hop, skip, and a jump, baby. I chose this case. I was going back and forth, and I told you, I had about 3 I was going to look at. One of them was Frederick Scott, who is a very recent serial killer in Kansas City area that is about to go on trial. I think I do still want to do an update or just an overview of that one at some point, because it's so recent. And
is that the one with the guys outside?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's oh, no, never mind.
There was I think 4 or 5 victims.
I'm thinking of the guy with the friends at the Chiefs game. Not the same person. I'm I don't want to think he's a serial killer. I think he knew his friends died and put him outside.
Yeah, I think
I see
they OD'd. Yes, no, this is the guy that was murdering men on. I think it's called.
Girl, I don't even know about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we will talk about that.
Yeah.
I also looked at the Springfield 3 just because it's also a Missouri case that's unsolved. Yeah. But then this one, because it's October, and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I wanted to kind of shed light on that.
I love that. Because it happens all the time.
It does. And I think it is important that we speak out against it. Mm-hmm. And we let our listeners know that we support you if you are in a situation that is scary. If you need help, please get the help and the support that you need. We can put some resources on the podcast episode this week. It's such a scary thing.
Send us a message with the word pizza.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
Because your pizza order and we'll know.
Yeah, because so many people can't because their stuff's monitored.
Yep.
And we've talked about this before because we both are crime junkies and listen to Crime Junkie.
Yeah.
But back forever ago, they talked about how, first of all, leaving is the hardest part.
And
that's the most dangerous part. But then if you have been strangled or your abuser puts his hands around your neck in an attempt to strangle you, your chances of dying from domestic violence go up like, it's crazy.
It's this terrifying statistic that if a man or a woman, I guess, puts their hands around your throat and strangles you, you are like at some point so many times more likely to die by that person.
Well, and I came across in real life true crime. Unfortunately, it happened right before me, but at one of my buildings that I was at, a woman had left an abusive relationship and was going to walk home, and after the fact, watching security footage, you see the car is circling the building for hours, and then when she walks across the street, you see the car stop. She looks. She backs away, like almost like putting herself on guard, but at something scared her or forced her, because then she got into that car and she was never seen again until they found her body months later. And the man that she had left was charged with her murder. And I believe his current girlfriend, was also somehow tied to that, and it was her car.
That's what I remembered, because I remember you telling me about all of that when it happened. Yeah. That is so scary.
Yeah. And that's why people don't leave, because living a life of hell and domestic violence is better than being dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
point blank. Like that's it. Being in that situation is
if you don't have the means, whether that's financial or like a place or whatever, and you have a child, then that is a way for them to control you too. It's because, like, what are you going to do with this child, and how are you going to care for this child? And it's really sad.
It is.
It's really sad.
I think that it's important. You bring up, the control part. Financial control is such a heavy thing. It's so strong, because if you can't afford to leave, you're not going to leave.
Yeah.
And I think that having and maintaining your own separate money in any relationship, because you don't ever really know somebody, at least in the beginning, keep yourself safe financially as well, because then nobody should ever have that power over you to say, you're not anything without me. You can't leave because you don't have a dime to your name. And let me just tell you, I have 3 extra bedrooms in this house down here, and I have 4 extra upstairs. So you can leave, and I will hide you like they hid Anne Frank. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that is it's a scary world, and you just never really know somebody.
Yeah. So if you need help and you can't, you can send us your pizza order.
Yeah. We'll be happy to get you some pizza. So
that was really heavy.
It was. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's so heavy.
It is. And
I almost followed suit, because I was like, oh, maybe that's the theme.
I'm glad you did.
And I'm like, I can't. Death is heavy, but I can't follow that, just because it's
Karen's to this. It's just,
you said something about domestic violence, so I was like, oh, maybe that's the theme, and then I was like, no.
Can't do too much of it.
Yeah, it's just so heavy, and I think it's so heavy because it happens so often,
and we know people that it's happened to.
Yes,
I think that's a part that hurts too, is that we've known and know people that are in situations like this.
Yeah.
So we love you. Happy October.
With all the love, feel the love of this podcast,
please,
and our love, and know that this is our self-care. We love doing this.
Yeah.
We hope we make a difference for somebody someday.
Yeah. If one person is safe because of something we said, that's all I could ever ask for.
Yeah.
So, I'm Bianca.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are
Taking Back Sunday. Yeah, bro, I knew. Sorry. Immediately, I was like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm going to kill on the road, taking back.
Linda
Listen,
It was like, Susan, no, Patty, that's a kid. Okay.
Quote, we went to look inside the car and we could see her school Burks. Not a funny place to have a blooper.